there's a lot of variance in the sense that like the meta might be different. Maybe EU meta is not as good as other regions meta, etc., etc. But excuse aside, I just want to be as strong as possible. I want my team to be as good as possible, and I want to just like destroy everyone at Worlds.
Hi everyone, it's Tom reporting from the LEC Spring Split. We have started again, and what a game did we start with! We had G2 versus Mad Lions, and G2 came out of on top. And with me here to discuss everything about that match is Caps, the mid laner of G2. How are you doing, Caps?
I'm doing pretty well. It was a good first game. I was a bit nervous, obviously like a bit of a new lineup, but I'm happy we ended up winning.
You still get nervous, even though, well, you know, 5 great players on your team. Seems like everything went well. So
yeah, I mean, obviously it's like the beginning of spring, but we are a new team, and also we're not at our peak form, right? We're like kind of in bad shape in that sense because well, the season just started, we didn't get to practice that much, so I was a bit nervous about how we would do. Because even though we haven't put like as much effort as we would like for playoffs or international tournament or something like this, the start of the season still matters, and it would be sad to start with a loss.
Right, and talking about the game then, in the beginning, Mad Lions showed a lot of aggression and actually had you guys maybe on the back foot a bit. As you know, they've done last year as well. They were very aggressive then as well. So how was that start of the game then? How did you feel when they started off so strongly?
I mean, they had some pretty strong champions in the early game. I mean, Tristana has like a lot of prio in the matchup, and she can very easily go on either like Jankos, especially because there's no flash, but he can go on everyone. So early game was gonna be like a bit difficult, but I think we made some mistakes which allowed them to actually like get some leads. Luckily, not Perks. Luckily, Winther was doing really well top lane. So he was like really far ahead. So even though we fell behind, Winther was like kind of keeping us even in the game. And then I think our comp just like really outscales them. So as soon as we went mid game, I think the game was actually just kind of won. We said like the game is won when I think I looked at now and the goal was not even ahead for us, but we just like there was just no way we would really lose the game. We were just in a position we felt very comfortable with.
Nice. You got a bit of a counter pick on you with the Tristana being locked in against your Twisted Fate, which is a pick we've seen pop up a bit more nowadays across the world in other leagues as well. Still, did it surprise you to see them lock this in?
Yeah, I mean it did. Yeah, I mean I think he went for Tristana, which is like kind of uncommon. I didn't play against Tristana for a long time, but I think 2019 I played a lot of Tristana, and I also played this matchup specifically. So I know that he is a lot stronger than me. I can't take any fights, and he can try to gank my teammates. But I basically just avoided every fight. I know that I will be a lot stronger later in the game, and also I have ult, so I can help my team roam around the map. He was also forced to take cleanse, which meant that every time he went on side, we basically hard forced on the mid. So yeah, we felt pretty comfortable.
We saw in the draft as well, we saw a bit of the flex picks. Tristana being one of them, you know, could go mid, could go bot still. We saw the Gragas, obviously, which could have gone to Mickey, could have gone even to Jankos, but also could have gone to Winther, which it ended up going to. Do you feel comfortable as G2 as a team that kind of renovated or reinvented all these flex picks? You guys are very flexible. Do you think this meta suits you guys in that sense?
Well, the items just got reworked, right? So it's like the meta is not really set in stone, I think, and especially with the fact that there's some items that are really broken right now that are getting like nerfed next patch and stuff like this. I think the meta hasn't really settled down, so it's hard to say if we will succeed in this meta. But I do think that we are a team that works in every meta. Like what is it? Like we won the last 4 splits now, and G2 won 2 more before that with Fnatic, and those were all sorts of different metas. So I think regardless of what Riot throws at us, we should be pretty comfortable. I mean, right now the meta is like, at least with the champions we're playing, I think we're all comfortable with. So far so good.
How are you feeling? I know you're obviously very comfortable with playing almost any champion, but do you think that the mid meta is interesting at the moment? Do you enjoy what you get to play?
the mid meta. Yeah, again, I'm not really sure what the mid meta is exactly. I think it seems like it's like kind of what the world's meta is, but there's at least like the benefit of being some new champions. So I do like the meta more than worlds, I guess, because it feels like there's more champions.
Right.
But at the same time,
it's still a bit too unsure what you can play and what's like stand out good in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't really know what's the best. I think TF is fun. I don't want to give away too much of what champions exactly I play, but I think like all the champs I play are a lot of fun. And if Viego turns out to be a mid laner, which it looks like it's a jungle, but if it turns out to be a mid laner, then that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's very much designed to be a jungler, but who knows what you guys are gonna do with it. I think he might maybe top lane, who knows. But I think mid's gonna be difficult if I look at how
could be.
It could be. Talking a bit about how you guys prepared for this weekend, because obviously big weekend, it's a super weekend, and I imagine you were extremely excited to get started again to play League of Legends because, well, it's kind of why you're in this. So how was this week in terms of preparation for you guys for this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we just I mean, at least I really wanted to get back to playing. I think I didn't really feel very satisfied with Worlds. I felt like I still had a lot of things to prove. So going back home, I didn't really. It didn't feel like other years. It felt like actually weird this year in the sense that I felt like it wasn't done. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that a lot of the games throughout the year were online and there was no crowd as well for when we played. So maybe it wasn't the same feeling as normal. But I have a lot of things that I want to prove this year, and I just tried my best to get in shape for week one. Obviously, it is week one, so we're not gonna be at our best form, but we still want to win. We have Rekkles on the roster now. So obviously it's also important for him, especially to get a good start because, I mean, the worst thing that can happen is like you join a team that has won before and you start losing in the beginning.
Right.
So I think we all just wanted to have a good strong start.
You say you had a lot to prove this year, but I mean you've been to 2 Worlds finals, you've won so many splits now. What do you still have to prove for yourself? And is it then literally just that Worlds title, or is it also in the LEC with a new composition? Playing that you feel that you have to prove something?
I mean, it is just winning the world final, right? But I think and just winning worlds, yeah. I think the problem is just that you don't win the worlds at worlds. I feel like you win the worlds throughout the year, and the effort you give throughout the year translate obviously to how well you will be at worlds. I think last year, which was very sad for me, was that when we came into worlds, and we've talked about this before, we lost every scrim. We went 0-6 against multiple teams. Even like some of the NA teams were beating us in scrims. We were getting destroyed by everyone basically. And I'm super impressed by the fact that like the last week of scrims we were actually beating some of the other teams at Worlds, and we were actually doing well. And throughout every week we basically became a lot better, and we went from getting destroyed to going somewhat even to actually winning scrims. But as you can understand, like the fact that we started with getting destroyed by everyone, including NA, is like that's just like not acceptable. And we will just have to do better this year. Obviously, there's a lot of variance in the sense that like the meta might be different. Maybe EU meta is not as good as other regions meta, etc., etc. But excuse aside, I just want to be as strong as possible. I want my team to be as good as possible, and I want to just like destroy everyone at Worlds.
All right, man. Finally, still reeling it back a bit to the Spring Split because that is the first step you guys are gonna take. I want to hear your opinion. Which of the teams that you've played against, scrimmed against, do you think look strong and is any of those teams close to being able to beat you?
We were actually like, I mean, I don't know how much I can even say, but we actually were memeing that because we've scrimmed against Vitality at some point, and Vitality were beating us, so we were memeing a bit about like if we can defeat Vitality, then we're ready for LEC. So they were doing pretty well against us. I think most teams were actually doing pretty well against us. It's kind of the same thing because obviously I think we started scrimming later than most other teams. A lot of teams have like complete new lineups and they scrimmed throughout December. So in that sense, we were a bit bit behind coming into Worlds, coming into Spring. But I think we are caught up kind of. Like our last week of scrim went really well. If there was any specific team that stands out, I heard that Rogue is really strong. yeah, I mean everyone just seems really good, but I also think that's just because we might not be very good yet. So yeah.
All right, Caps. Thank you so much for joining, man. Good luck in the rest
Thank
of the
you.
split.
Thank you so much.